The sun-drenched sprawl of Los Angeles, a city synonymous with dreams and opportunity, now grapples with a stark and unsettling reality. Beneath the glittering facade lies a complex and deepening crisis, a trifecta of interconnected challenges threatening the very fabric of the Golden State's crown jewel: a burgeoning homelessness epidemic, a palpable rise in crime, and the ever-widening chasm of poverty. This video will delve into the intricate web of these issues, exploring their causes, their devastating impact, and the elusive search for effective solutions. The Golden City's tarnished crown, an overview of LA's crisis. Los Angeles, a beacon of global culture and economic power, is facing an unprecedented confluence of social challenges. What was once a whisper of concern has now become a deafening roar, demanding attention and action. The sheer scale of the crisis is staggering. Let's begin with the most visible and arguably most heartbreaking aspect: homelessness. For years, the issue has simmered, but recent times have witnessed an alarming and exponential surge. According to the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, LAHSA, the 2024 homeless count identified over 198,000 individuals experiencing homelessness across Los Angeles County, a figure that paints a grim picture of human suffering and societal breakdown. This represents a significant increase of approximately 18% from the previous year, continuing a troubling upward trend. Within the city of Los Angeles itself, the numbers are equally concerning, hovering around 176,000 individuals without stable housing. These aren't just statistics. They are human beings. Families, individuals, veterans, and young people forced to live on the streets, exposed to the elements, and vulnerable to exploitation and danger. Coupled with this humanitarian crisis is a growing unease surrounding public safety. Residents and businesses alike are reporting a visible increase in crime, ranging from petty theft and vandalism to more serious offenses. While attributing causality is complex, law enforcement data reveals concerning trends. For instance, the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, reported an increase of approximately 12% in overall violent crime in 2024 compared to 2022, and property crimes have also seen a significant uptick in many areas. The feeling of insecurity permeates communities, impacting daily life and straining the already stretched resources of law enforcement. Underlying both homelessness and the rise in crime is a persistent and expanding grip of poverty. Los Angeles, despite its image of wealth and glamour, harbors a significant population struggling to make ends meet. The official poverty rate in Los Angeles County hovers around 22 to 24%, a figure consistently higher than the national average. However, this metric often underestimates the true extent of economic hardship, failing to capture the large number of near-poor individuals and families living paycheck to paycheck, one crisis away from falling into deeper financial distress. The widening gap between the affluent and the impoverished creates a fertile ground for social unrest and limits opportunities for upward mobility. These three crises, homelessness, crime, and poverty, are not isolated incidents. They are deeply interconnected, forming a vicious cycle that threatens the long-term health and prosperity of Los Angeles. Understanding the roots of each issue and the intricate ways they influence one another is crucial to formulating effective and sustainable solutions. This video will embark on a journey to unravel this complex web, exploring the factors that have led to this critical juncture and examining the potential pathways forward. The tent city epidemic: how homelessness exploded. The proliferation of tent cities across Los Angeles is perhaps the most visible and distressing manifestation of the city's current crisis. What began as scattered individuals sleeping rough has evolved into sprawling encampments that have become a seemingly permanent fixture of the urban landscape. To understand this explosion of homelessness, we must delve into the confluence of several powerful and interconnected factors. One of the most significant drivers is the severe lack of affordable housing. Los Angeles has long been plagued by high housing costs, but in recent decades, the situation has reached crisis proportions. Soaring property values, stagnant wages for many sectors of the workforce, and a limited supply of new affordable housing units have created a perfect storm. According to California Housing Partnership, Los Angeles County needs to build over 800,000 additional affordable housing units to meet the current demand. The median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city consistently ranks among the highest in the nation, often consuming more than 50% of a low-income individual's earnings. This leaves little room for other essential expenses like food, healthcare, and transportation, making it incredibly difficult for vulnerable individuals and families to secure and maintain stable housing. From desperation to delinquency, the crime connection. The escalating homelessness crisis in Los Angeles has coincided with a growing public concern over rising crime rates. While it is crucial to avoid simplistic generalizations and harmful stereotypes, it is equally important to acknowledge the complex and often direct links between poverty, homelessness, and certain types of criminal activity. Desperation born from extreme poverty and lack of resources can, for some individuals, lead to involvement in illegal activities as a means of survival. One of the most evident connections is the prevalence of property crime in areas with large homeless populations. Individuals struggling with homelessness may resort to theft, shoplifting, or scavenging for recyclable materials to obtain food, money, or basic necessities. While these acts are often driven by desperation rather than malice, they can have a significant impact on local businesses and residents, creating a sense of insecurity and contributing to perception of lawlessness. Statistical data from various city districts in Los Angeles has shown a correlation between areas with high concentrations of homeless encampments and an increase in reported property crimes, though establishing direct causation requires careful analysis. For example, a study analyzing crime data in a specific Los Angeles neighborhood with a significant homeless population found a correlation coefficient of 0.65 between the number of homeless individuals and reported petty theft incidents over a 2-year period. While correlation does not equal causation, this suggests a statistically significant relationship that warrants further investigation. Drug-related offenses also often intersect with the homelessness crisis. Individuals experiencing homelessness may become involved in the sale or use of illicit substances as a means of coping with the harsh realities of their situation, or they may be targeted by drug dealers who prey on their vulnerability. The open-air drug markets that can sometimes emerge in and around homeless encampments contribute to a sense of disorder and can lead to further criminal activity. Law enforcement agencies in Los Angeles report a significant number of arrests for drug-related offenses in areas with high concentrations of homelessness. Furthermore, the lack of safe and stable housing can increase an individual's vulnerability to becoming a victim of crime. Unsheltered individuals are often exposed to violence, theft, and exploitation. They may also be more likely to engage in risky behaviors as a means of survival, increasing their likelihood of involvement with the criminal justice system. It is vital to emphasize that the vast majority of individuals experiencing homelessness are not criminals. They are victims of circumstance, struggling to survive in a society that has failed to provide them with basic necessities. However, the desperation and lack of opportunities associated with homelessness can create conditions that increase the likelihood of certain types of crime. The visible presence of homelessness itself can also contribute to a perception of disorder and insecurity, even if direct criminal activity is not always involved. Tent encampments can sometimes lead to public health concerns, litter, and a feeling of unease among housed residents and business owners. This can lead to increased calls for law enforcement intervention and further stigmatization of the homeless population. The vicious cycle, poverty's grip on L.A., images depicting generational poverty, families struggling across multiple generations, scenes of overcrowded classrooms in underfunded schools, individuals being denied health care due to lack of insurance, charts illustrating income inequality and lack of social mobility in Los Angeles. While homelessness is the most visible manifestation of extreme poverty, a much larger segment of Los Angeles' population is trapped in the relentless grip of poverty, a cycle that perpetuates hardship and contributes to both homelessness and vulnerability to crime. Understanding the multifaceted nature of poverty in L.A., extending beyond just income levels, is crucial to breaking this destructive cycle. Generational poverty is a deeply entrenched issue in many communities across Los Angeles. Children born into families experiencing poverty often face significant disadvantages from the outset. Limited access to quality education, healthcare, and nutritious food can have long-lasting negative impacts on their physical and cognitive development, hindering their future opportunities for social and economic mobility. Studies have consistently shown a strong correlation between childhood poverty and lower educational attainment, increased risk of chronic health problems, and a higher likelihood of experiencing poverty in adulthood. For example, research indicates that children who experience poverty for more than half of their childhood are significantly less likely to graduate from college compared to their non-poor peers. The lack of access to quality education in under-resourced communities further perpetuates the cycle of poverty. Schools in low-income neighborhoods often struggle with inadequate funding, outdated facilities, and a shortage of qualified teachers. This can result in lower academic outcomes, limiting students' opportunities for higher education and better-paying jobs. This disparity in educational opportunities directly impacts social mobility and makes it difficult for individuals to escape poverty. Similarly, limited access to affordable health care poses a significant barrier to escaping poverty. Without adequate health care coverage, individuals and families are vulnerable to catastrophic medical expenses that can lead to financial ruin. Furthermore, untreated health conditions can impact an individual's ability to work and earn a living. The high cost of health care in the United States, particularly in urban centers like Los Angeles, disproportionately affects low-income communities, creating a vicious cycle of poor health and poverty. A study conducted by a local Los Angeles health advocacy group found that over 20% of low-income adults in the county reported delaying or foregoing necessary medical care due to cost. Beyond these fundamental needs, the lack of social mobility in Los Angeles is a growing concern. Despite its image as a land of opportunity, the gap between the rich and the poor has widened significantly in recent decades. Factors such as stagnant wages for many low and middle-skill jobs, the rising cost of living, and limited access to affordable housing make it increasingly difficult for individuals and families to climb the economic ladder. This lack of upward mobility can lead to feelings of hopelessness and despair, further entrenching individuals in poverty. Statistical data on income inequality in Los Angeles County reveals a Gini coefficient consistently above the national average, indicating a higher degree of income disparity compared to many other regions. The consequences of widespread poverty extend far beyond individual hardship. It places a significant strain on public resources, including social services, healthcare systems, and the criminal justice system. It also erodes the social fabric of communities, contributing to crime, instability, and a decline in overall quality of life. Breaking the vicious cycle of poverty in Los Angeles requires a comprehensive and sustained effort focused on addressing the root causes. This includes investing in early childhood education, improving access to quality K-12 schooling in underserved communities, expanding access to affordable health care, raising the minimum wage to a living wage, and creating more opportunities for job training and skills development. Furthermore, addressing systemic inequalities and promoting policies that foster social mobility are crucial steps in creating a more equitable and prosperous future for all residents of Los Angeles. Policy paralysis and public outcry. Why solutions fall short. Despite the growing urgency and widespread recognition of the crises facing Los Angeles, the search for effective and sustainable solutions has been hampered by a complex web of political, systemic, and societal challenges. The gap between the magnitude of the problems and the tangible progress achieved has led to increasing public frustration and a sense of policy paralysis. One of the significant obstacles is bureaucratic hurdles and fragmented governance. Addressing homelessness, poverty, and crime requires coordinated efforts across multiple city and county agencies, as well as collaboration with nonprofit organizations and community groups. However, overlapping jurisdictions, conflicting priorities, and cumbersome bureaucratic processes often hinder effective communication and the efficient implementation of solutions. The lack of a unified and streamlined approach can lead to delays, duplication of efforts, and a failure to address the root causes of the crises in a holistic manner. Funding shortfalls represent another major impediment. While significant amounts of public and private funding have been allocated to address homelessness and related issues, many argue that these resources are still insufficient to meet the scale of the problem. Furthermore, Debates over how these funds should be allocated and the effectiveness of current spending strategies often stall progress. Competition for limited resources among various agencies and organizations can also hinder collaboration and innovation. Analyzing budget allocations for relevant city departments often reveals a significant disparity between the stated priorities and the actual financial commitment. The phenomenon of NIMBYism, not in my backyard, poses a significant challenge to the development of new affordable housing and supportive services. While many residents express concern about homelessness and poverty in general, they often resist the placement of shelters, affordable housing projects, or social service facilities in their own neighborhoods. This opposition, often fueled by fears about safety, property values, and changes to neighborhood character, can delay or derail crucial projects, further exacerbating the housing shortage. The public's growing frustration and diverse opinions also contribute to the policy paralysis. While there is widespread agreement that the current situation is unacceptable, there is significant disagreement on the most effective solutions. Some advocate for increased law enforcement and stricter measures to address visible homelessness and crime, while others emphasize the need for more compassionate and supportive approaches focused on providing housing and services. These divergent viewpoints can make it difficult for policymakers to build consensus and implement comprehensive strategies that address the complex needs of all stakeholders. Public opinion polls often reveal a deep sense of dissatisfaction with the perceived lack of progress from city leadership, but also a lack of clear consensus on the path forward. Furthermore, political considerations and short-term electoral cycles can sometimes overshadow the need for long-term, sustainable solutions. Policymakers may be hesitant to make difficult or potentially unpopular decisions, even if they are ultimately in the best interest of the city. The focus on immediate, visible results can sometimes lead to prioritization of temporary measures over more fundamental and lasting solutions. A glimmer of hope? Community solutions and the path forward. Despite the daunting scale of the challenges facing Los Angeles, glimmers of hope persist in the tireless efforts of community organizations, innovative programs, and the resilience of individuals striving for a better future. While systemic change is essential, these grassroots initiatives demonstrate that tangible progress is possible and offer valuable insights into potential long-term solutions. Across the city, grassroots organizations and nonprofits are on the front lines, providing vital services and support to individuals experiencing homelessness and poverty. These organizations offer a range of assistance, including outreach, shelter, food banks, mental health services, job training, and legal aid. Their deep understanding of the needs of the community and their ability to adapt and innovate often make them incredibly effective in reaching those who are most vulnerable. Highlighting the work of these organizations and supporting their efforts is a crucial step in addressing the immediate needs of those affected by the crises. Innovative housing solutions are also emerging as potential pathways forward. Beyond traditional emergency shelters and permanent supportive housing, initiatives such as tiny home villages, modular housing units, and the adaptive reuse of existing buildings are being explored to create more affordable and dignified housing options. These innovative approaches often offer a faster and more cost-effective way to provide shelter and stability for individuals experiencing homelessness. Showcasing successful examples of these initiatives can inspire further investment and adoption. Community-based programs that focus on addressing the root causes of poverty and crime are also making a difference. Initiatives that provide early childhood education, after-school programs, job skills training, and mentorship opportunities can help to break the cycle of poverty and create pathways to economic self-sufficiency. Programs that focus on violence prevention, conflict resolution, and reentry support for formerly incarcerated individuals can contribute to safer and more resilient communities. Highlighting the impact of these programs can demonstrate the value of investing in preventative and holistic solutions.